Hi, I haven't made any videos for the last couple of days, and there's a good reason for that. Mainly because last time I left you, I just started filing the bevels on this blade, and that's what I've been doing for the last few days. It is quite a job. As you can see, this side I've done the main bevel. It's just about complete. Let me show you. Zoom, get focus. Not sure if that's in focus or not. And on the other side, I've almost finished the main bevel, which leaves these little relief bevels at the top to be done, which will be the next job. But I'm very pleased with that. It looks fantastic. I'm trying to keep the edge thickness constant, ready for heat treatment, so it should be about 1 millimetre thick by the time I finished it. And one of the biggest problems I had was actually marking the edge. So I tried various things, and the thing most people use is they use a drill bit to scribe along a line along it, which didn't really seem to work on this tool steel. Then I tried oil-based paint to scribe a line in it. That got really messy. It never really dried properly, so that was horrendous. Really, I should be using Engineer's Blue, but that's about 15 quid a pot, so I decided not to use that. And I ended up making a sort of a rig out of a chopping board and drawing a line along with a Sharpie. Not very accurate, but hopefully good enough. So anyway, so there it is at the moment. Let's focus in again. And this is one of the scales that I produced for the prototype, so you can get a sort of a feeling of what it's going to look like. This is going to be mahogany with brass pins in it. I think that should complement the steel beautifully. Anyway, one of the major things I had to do was to change my filing rig, and I've learnt as I've gone along, and I'm going to show you that now. So let's go into the shed. And on the way in, I think I'm just going to show you this here, which is the biggest false widow spider I've seen for ages, so I want to keep away from that. There seems to be quite a few of them up here. Anyway, back to the filing rig. So here we are. So the differences are not that obvious. Number one, I've fitted these screws in here, and that's for the for getting the plunge line right. I'll just get the knife and I can show you. So the knife is screwed in place like that, with 3 screws through the handle, so it's nice and solid. Then the file mounted to a piece of trampoline pole sits between those 2 screws up there, and that allows me to file here. Now that screw is positioned to be a stop, and that's to get the edge of the grind right. Try and get this camera to focus. So you can see the end of the grind is shaped by stopping against that screw, and so this whole rig is replicated both sides. So I can take the knife off of there, mount it there, and I have another screw stop there. Next, I found that the bevel needed to be a bit of a steeper angle, so I had to increase the size of the rest at the back. But I also noticed that there's quite a bit of wear where the pole, the filing pole has been sliding over it. Try and get that focused. can see that wear mark there. So what I ended up doing was fitting these pieces of wood at the back, and what that is to allow is for this piece of plastic tubing to lie across there, and that does a couple of things. One is it's 7mm, but it actually raises the file 5mm off the front, which was just about the right to change the angle, which I calculated. And secondly, this pole here fits in loosely, so it moves around during filing, which means that it always presents a different bearing surface for the pole to run on. So that's worked really well. Very pleased with that. The next modifications I'm going to have to make are for filing the relief bevel at the top of the blade. Try and get that in focus. So this bevel here. So what I'm going to have to do is to position the knife that way up, and then move the rest forwards to get a much steeper angle, because it's a much shorter bevel. So I'll drill some more holes to mount the handle and move the rest at the back, and then that should be it finished, and then I'll move on to the handle scales after that. So once I've finished grinding the bevels, I'll make another video and show you what they're like. Okay, see you in the next video.